a better job, the thriving business, a beautiful home, the mother who has it all together, the most stylish clothes, the cool car, the delicious looking food, the memorable holidays and vacations, smarter, sexier, aging well, a fit body, couples smiling, happy and fulfilled. We see it all the time on social media. And sadly, so many people are comparing their life to someone else's highlight reel. Hi everybody, it's Lovoni. Welcome to episode 14 of the Lovoni and Sarah podcast. Today Sarah and I are talking about comparing ourselves to others, why we do it and how we can stop this toxic habit. But before we get into today's episode, let's go over what our goals were from the last week and how we did. Over to you, Sarah. What were they and how did you do with them?
My goal last week was to have no sugary food. So last week we were talking about nutrition and the food that were going to be foods that were good for us and the ones that weren't. So I said I was going to have no sugary food for a week and to see how I feel. So I have quite a nice piece of reporting back to do for you.
Oh, well done.
I've done really well. Yeah. I mean, I couldn't say that no sugar has passed my lips with regards to having it in something else, but I haven't eaten any sugary, processed, purposeful sort of food. And actually I feel loads better.
Awesome.
I've been drinking loads more water. My exercise I've managed to pick up again because I said last week that I was so busy I hadn't managed to do any. I haven't been going every day, but I've been picking that up a lot more. And I reminded myself that I'm still in a sort of a rehabilitation period really after my surgery, aren't I? I'm still, very much trying to get stronger and better. So I've been purposefully focusing on that within my exercise as well. So trying to really work on the strength of my hip, my leg. And I've been noticing a difference from it's been tough. My God, it's been tough. But yeah, noticing a difference. So I've had a really successful week.
That's awesome.
I'm definitely going to keep going on it.
That's really good. Well, mine was just to not let myself go too hog wild while my sister and brother-in-law have been here for a week. Last night I just might have had a few too many glasses of wine, but I didn't have dessert. And I have to.
I didn't have a pudding.
A bit of a disclaimer. I am feeling a little bleary-eyed this morning, I have to say. Plus, I was up at 4:30 to take them to the airport. But I did things such as we all had margaritas. I made Mexican the other night, and I made everybody else's margaritas. But I made mine with I did like a cucumber water. And so lots of, cucumbers, and there's lots of water in cucumbers, plus then I added water to that mixture. It sounds gross, but it's really good. Of course, I put tequila and triple sec in there, 2 alcohols in there. but
water was very
everybody else was drinking, and some lime juice I put in there for the vitamin C. Everybody else was drinking pineapple, because I make a really good pineapple and lime margarita. But I thought, pineapple, as much as I love it, the sugar, even though it's just straight juice. But so I did the cucumber water with water in mine, and then I muddled up some jalapeno in there. And it was so delicious. So they were teasing me about how many I was drinking, and I was talking with my hands and spilt one everywhere. And I said, well, at least I'm getting hydrated at the same time as I'm drinking.
True.
Now I don't advise that.
With the headache?
Yes, it did. So I did sort of, keep in control.
I think it's fun.
I wanted to have fun. Yeah, I don't see my family very much, but I didn't use it as an excuse to just go berserk. Like I did some baking, and I took that, and then I made cakes and things like that. I took them and cut them up and put them in the freezer. I just didn't keep eating them. So.
Oh, and how did the granola go that you made?
Oh yeah, it was a treat. Good. I need to put that on. I'll put that on our website because it was really good. I'm going to do some homemade yogurt because that way I can choose a good milk. There's a place near me called Mercantile 37 that has milk from, Happy Cows from a dairy not too far from here. And so I think that if I get their milk and to make my own yogurt,
Yeah.
that way, I'm not buying the
You know
cheap
what you've got.
stuff at the store.
Well, that's
Yeah.
the other thing that I've been doing this week, as well as not having sugary food. I've made a really conscious effort to think about what food I'm eating and try to add as much nutrient dense food into that.
And how it's helping your brain and your mood.
Yeah, and just the general feeding of my body.
Right.
I've been making really, really conscious decisions about making those choices.
Right.
So I've enjoyed it, actually. It sort of made me have a good think about
what you're having. And I bet you still ate really good food.
Oh yeah, I mean, it wasn't massively different. It was just different choices.
Right.
I thought that perhaps I added a bit of extra in that I wouldn't have normally added.
Yeah.
So maybe not completely changing the meal, but just
making simple little changes. And those simple little changes make a difference. As you know, I text Sarah. I had to go to the doctor on Monday. I thought, what an absolute crap time to go after my family had been there for 3 days. And anyway, but I went on Monday and she was so happy with me because my blood pressure has dropped right down into the awesome range. It was quite high when I went 3 months ago. So, and my sugars were a bit, I wasn't type 2 diabetes, but I was getting up to where I, maybe not have the medication. Well, that dropped right down. And so my blood pressure, that, and my weight, I'd lost I can't remember if it's 7.3 or 7.6 kilos, what's 2.2 times that? About 18 pounds, which on my scales I think was a bit more, but I had all my clothes on and stuff. So, so my doctor was really happy with me. And I think a lot of that came down to exercise, because the exercise really helps to lower your blood pressure and bring down your blood glucose levels as well. So, especially if you exercise after you eat. But anyway, so I was pretty chuffed about that too.
That's brilliant.
Yeah. So that just makes me now want to just push on even more. Yeah. So I go back in another 6 months and, see how I'm doing then. Yeah. Anyway, so to today's episode, we're talking about stop comparing yourself to others. We all do it. We all have done it. And, it's just, it keeps you cemented, I think, in one spot, for want of a better word. When you do it, it's kind of a toxic sort of thing to yourself and to your own life, really. Absolutely. I know I do it with my work, with my photography, and I see other people's and I think, oh, theirs is so nice, and they have, 100,000 followers, and I've been doing this for years, and why doesn't that happen to me? And I just think, oh God, it's such a waste of energy. Instead of focusing that on,
that famous phrase, comparison is the thief of joy.
Oh, I like that. Oh, you need to put that up on Instagram.
Yeah, I then just had a quick look to find out where that came from, because it's something that I've heard for a long time. And
I've never heard it. Okay.
Have you not? It was Roosevelt that actually said it. So
who was it?
Yeah, Roosevelt.
Okay. Oh, okay.
Yeah. So comparison is the thief of joy.
That's so good. Yeah.
Because, you could be feeling great about something. Well, like a little kid could be so proud of the drawing that they've done.
Right.
And then they look at someone else's, and then you can see them just sort of crumble because they just sort of think, oh, mine's not as good. But yet they were so proud of theirs.
Right.
They then looked at someone else's.
Yeah.
So it's that same process, isn't it? You can just start to put yourself in that sort of field of looking at everyone else to make sure that yours, reassurance that yours is okay. But then all of a sudden it's robbed you of any pleasure or confidence you had of whatever it is that you've been doing.
Yeah. And it's good to take inspiration from other people, but don't compare yourself, because we're all so different. And I say to my husband, you do you. What suits you, you do that. Not because he's comparing himself to others. He doesn't do that. It's more when we're arguing and I just say, you just do you. But and that's what people need to do.
And there is a power in emulating someone, isn't there? So you can emulate them, you can find them inspirational. But when you emulate someone, you should you're not trying to become that person. You're trying to take the good parts of what they're doing and apply it to your life.
Like get inspiration.
You've still then got to do, like you said, is then make it work for your
Yeah,
lifestyle. So
yeah.
you're not, if you emulated someone to try and completely copy them, that wouldn't work.
Right.
Because it's not going to match what your lifestyle is. But you can take the good parts of what they're doing and then apply that to your life, and that's how really successful people succeed a lot of the time.
Yeah.
It's a way of learning, isn't it?
And I think especially when it comes to weight loss, you could be doing all right. Like say, take for example me. So I'm getting there bit by bit. I'd like to get there faster, but life gets in the way sometimes, and I'm getting there. But if I could see somebody that had lost 100 pounds or whatever on social media, and I think, well, what did they do? This is what happens, and I know people do this, and they look at that and they think, well, I'll do that instead. And then all the things that they were doing, little bit, and they were doing okay, and they launch into something that, maybe this person was just doing the 2 shakes and a meal or something.
Yeah.
And they start it, and because somebody, it worked for somebody else, which is why, you do you. If someone's doing it and they are seeing small changes, just stay with it. Stay with it.
And we've said it before, haven't we? Then, on social media, you can see someone that's done an amazing job at losing loads of weight, and they're sort of talking about how they look now or how their lifestyle is now.
Right.
But when you delve down a little deeper, you found that they've had gastric band, or they've had surgery of some kind, or they are doing shakes. You go, okay, well, that's fine. They do what they want to do.
Right.
But actually, you can't try and compare or change your life compared to someone else's when you have no idea how they've achieved that or got to that.
And it could have taken them 3 years. It could have taken them 3 years, and they could have fallen off the wagon.
It's not dangerous what they're doing. I didn't mean to judge what they're doing. What I mean is it's dangerous to compare yourself. Oh, yeah. You don't know what their journey is.
Right. Exactly. That's what I was saying. You're comparing your life as you see the mundane day-to-day stuff to somebody else's highlight reel. Those quick little snippets where you see someone change from this, overweight person to suddenly looking hot and sexy in a skin-tight dress. Just doesn't happen like that,
No, you don't know how
so
they
just
got there.
Stay the course.
Exactly.
But I think when it comes to things like homes too, someone thinks, oh, look at how gorgeous their home is. Before people rush out and, change anything, is to kind of get to know your style. Do a mood board, or Pinterest is a good place to pin stuff and see what you like. If you don't know your style, think about things that you don't like. That if that's easier. Well,
yeah, that's true.
I know that can be easier for a lot of people, but
it's also important to remember that you're only seeing the camera angle from one corner of a room.
They could have
behind the 80% behind the camera is and all of that sort of thing. So you can't. Again, it's a dangerous situation to compare because you're not comparing like for like.
Right.
It's not. It's all Insta worthy when looking that way.
Yeah.
If you look that way, it's absolutely not. Do you know what? Exactly like I am right now, because
I know Sarah's place looks lovely.
Gorgeous. If you could see behind my screen,
right?
It's because I'm in the middle of doing up my office,
right,
and I'm really doing a massive declutter. So I'm in one of those stages that it looks worse before it gets.
Yeah, that's hard.
But I have to have meetings and everything.
What I'm seeing is beautiful.
Room. So it looks beautiful this way.
Yeah.
So, and I've even got my candle lit.
I saw that. I did notice that. Yeah.
But that makes me feel nicer, and I like this environment. So I know that what you're seeing here will be the entire room. But if I took a photograph of this and put it up on social media, wow, that looks really comfy or cozy. Right. Yeah, but you haven't seen the stacks of shredding that I've got over in that corner that I'm working my way through. So you've just got to be careful what you are comparing yourself to, haven't you?
And I saw a quote that said, water your own grass. So, focus, rather than focus on other people and you lose your time and you could have invested that in yourself, right? You need to look at your own little world, and focus on that and nurture that. Mm-hmm. Because, you can't go from nothing to everything overnight. So just focus on, yourself. Like I said, water water your own grass and
then I think
invest in it.
There is that value that is, as much as we're saying, be careful of what you're looking at, be careful of what you're trying to emulate or copy. There are really good bits of advice. There are really useful things out there, so accounts or people that we can absolutely take our own little snippets from, take it into our own life, and then create it to work for us, can't we?
Right.
So it's just
so be inspired,
balance, exactly,
but don't compare.
I saw a quote that when I was doing some research for this, that Mark Twain said, "There's no such thing as a new idea. It is impossible.
Right.
You simply take a lot of old ideas and put them into a sort of mental kaleidoscope." And I thought that's true as well. So we're not going to suddenly invent something for ourselves that no one ever thought of.
Yeah, like fashion.
So, exactly.
It just comes round and round.
What we're doing is we are taking inspiration, we're taking input from other people, but it's really important to stick with your own values, to stick with your own, like you said, taste for your home. Just because it's fashionable for the home doesn't mean that that's what you have to do.
Right.
But there might be really small parts of that you really like, and does suit your style. So I'm just going to take that one element of that and bring that into my home because that's a really good idea and I hadn't thought of that. But what I might do is put it with something that I've already got, and then you've created a new idea already, because possibly that's never been seen before, those two items together, because they, you wouldn't normally style them that way. So that's how you can come up with something new as well, isn't it?
Right.
To work for you.
Yeah.
So
it's the same with fashion too, don't you think? And if you like something, I've spoken about this before. I wear a lot of black because I like it. I feel. And it's not, so much to cover my weight. I've done it ever since I can remember. But I feel good in it. It's kind of like my uniform. I don't know, whatever you want to call it. And then I just add pops of colour in other ways. And for a while I was really paranoid about it because people would comment about it, which to me is kind of rude because I wouldn't say to somebody, "Oh my God, you're wearing a yellow, jumper or sweater again. It's so bright. Why are you into such bright colours?" But people think that they can say to me,
"It's okay to say about black."
Yeah, I mean, and I guess sometimes it was nice. It's like, well, you can tell you're from a big city because you wear black. Yeah, whatever. I like it. But anyway, so that's another thing too. If you like something, just own it. Don't think, "Oh, well, this person told me I shouldn't wear leopard print." But if you like it, just own it. I think,
that's when you look good in it, because if you do own it,
because you feel comfortable,
you'll carry it off.
Right.
And the soon as you then start feeling uncomfortable or nervous in what you're on, then that's when you don't probably carry it off.
It's like me and teal.
Oh, you don't get on?
No, I try, other colours. I can do hot pink in summer. I like that.
Okay.
But I had, some teal things, and I'd wear them and I'd be like, "Oh, God. I just want to get home and take them off and put my black stuff on." You and beige. And also, people, if they accept, when I say accept, it doesn't mean you have to stay there. But just think, okay, I am where I am right now, and then move forward with that, okay? Because you can't change the past, right? So when you look at other people and you think, "Oh, I want to be where they are," you're not. You're where you are right now. So accept that, and then make changes to, if you want to move forward and do something. Just start it then.
Yeah.
Right?
Small to make a start.
Small, and just make a start, but accept where you are. Do that instead, rather than wishing that you were where somebody else was, I think. I don't know.
And I think that the danger with comparison is it can it can just completely undermine everything, can't it? So the fact that you just feel that they're so much further ahead of you, or they've done it better, or you're never going to get there, it can absolutely knock this, even though you're, like you described, plodding away and chipping away at the goal.
Right.
All of a sudden you just do give up because you just don't feel that you're never going to reach it, or you're never going to make it look the same. But it's interesting that did some research on an article that was, now, but bear with me if I pronounce this incorrectly, okay?
Okay.
The lady's name is Loretta G. Bruning, PhD, I believe. But she's the author of a book called Habits of a Happy Brain. But she wrote an article for Psychology Today that was headed, "Can we stop comparing ourselves to others?" But she says that we compare ourselves to others because animals do it. And so basically it's instinct and a chemical reaction.
Right,
it's really
right.
interesting. So the description she gives is, if an animal sees another animal with bigger antlers, let's just say, it feels threatened by them because it knows that potentially it could become under attack.
Right.
However, if it sees another animal and it's got bigger antlers than that one, it then suddenly feels safe because it knows that it can protect itself. So as humans, we can manage our own brains and the impulse. But first you've got to recognise that you're doing it, she says.
Right.
And then you choice to make the change. She said that your cortex in your brain is evolved for survival. So if you go looking for people that are better than you, your cortex will find it. So that's interesting as well, isn't it? If we spend more time looking through social media or accounts thinking, almost proving to yourself that they're better than you,
yes.
you will find that.
Right.
You will see it.
Right.
So she says basically to train yourself to stop looking. It will be hard, but you have to do it again and then again and again, because your inner mammal will kick in, because your absolute instinct is to say, I'm going to find these people that are better than me to then compare myself to them.
Right.
But my own thoughts on that are that to control these thoughts and to do it over and over again, I think is to focus on how secure you are in your own
skin
feeling, isn't it?
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, exactly. And you can back that up by the care that you're giving yourself, the energy that you're giving, and the focus you're giving yourself. And I think that every time you feel that slightly insecure feeling against what someone else is doing that you're seeing, just try to look inwards for a few minutes and think, you know what? That's them, like you said. They're doing them.
Yeah,
I'm going to do me.
You do
so
you.
What am I doing my own? And the chances are you might reach the same sort of things that they're doing. You may not.
Right.
And it's not a popularity contest.
No, it's finding your path too, I think. It's finding your path. And I think and I know this is easier said than done, but I think when someone's listening to this and they think, oh, yeah, I do. I compare myself to others. And you all do it. People listening, don't say you don't, because everybody does it. But if somebody, is kind of feeling a bit of adrift because they do it and they can't get going on what they want to do because they do that so much, I think a good thing to do is just cut off from social media for a while. A week, 2 weeks, right?
Have a break.
Have a break. Put a list together of stuff that you would like to achieve, and then different ways of going about it, and small or big, write it all down, and how you would like to go about that, right? Even if you do some research, and then start from there and start small, and if you want to paint a room because you think, like you've done, Sarah, to your office, then what colours do you like? Think of it like that. You want to change your closet out, your clothes out because you're just bored with them. Go through and, just do things like that. But have a break away from looking at things that you constantly do, the scrolling all the time, And
being bombarded, being told what to do, isn't it?
Being bombarded with it, yeah. Oh, yeah, and then that's another thing, being told what to do. But I think, like, if people could just embrace their story, whatever it is, the past you can't change, but embrace your story and build on it for yourself. Don't build on it because you want more followers or want to be more popular or something like that, but build on it, for you, because it aligns with what your goals are.
Yeah, exactly.
So,
And, the other thing we need to be careful of is obviously the comparison we're talking about is comparing ourselves and wanting to be in the same sort of world as someone else. We also all guilty of at some point, I think, of making negative comparisons. So by that I mean, there's the new parents who's had the least sleep,
right,
or who's got the busiest work schedule? You know what I mean?
Right,
So
right.
we're almost make that comparison, but in a competitive world, the other way around. So we want to put ourselves, as much as we want to try and match other people in their world, we also want to be seen as the person that's potentially sometimes more under pressure or having to do things in a certain way. So that's the other thing as well. There is no competition either to be the one that's the most.
Right.
You don't have to be the one that's lost the most weight or be the busiest or the most fashionable in our homes or in what we're wearing. So everything, if you just remove that competition from everything, so for example, you are busy at work, but so is someone else.
Yeah.
Do you know what I mean? And everyone is busy. Everyone is. Because that's our lives now. So just try and remove that competition, whether it is the positive or the negative.
Right. Don't say to somebody, oh, busy. No, you don't know busy. Because I've had people say that to me before, mate. Okay, whatever. Yeah. What about,
always got to be the most.
As a mum, do you find... because I don't know, I guess I see this on social media where, there's mums that look like they just have it all together, gorgeous house, started up. What you don't see is they also have, a nanny helping out, a housekeeper. But as a mum, did you compare yourself to other mums thinking, oh God, she looks like she's got it all together? No? I think women do that though.
Yeah, I don't think I did it as a mum point of view.
Right.
I did it as a family point of view.
Okay.
So because obviously I was on my own with my son for the majority of the time. I think I looked at other families and thought, oh, they're having a really nice family time.
Right.
So I did the comparison thing thinking, oh, are we really missing out? Am I letting him down because we're not doing some of those things that we're doing? But actually, if you delved under the surface, potentially within these nice pictures that you're seeing or watching them, all 4 or 5 people, whatever, as a family, the parents are absolutely hating each other and having awful rows in the evening.
We're not saying everybody's like this, but but what you don't see.
What I've done is painted the picture how perfect it is.
Right.
But actually, the reality is,
all the stuff you don't see.
Yeah, the 2 adults are, on the brink of wanting to be divorced.
Right.
The siblings literally tear each other's hair out day in, day out.
Yeah.
They just squabble the entire time.
They're in debt up to their eyeballs because they have to dress in all the fancy stuff.
They have to have the car or the holiday or whatever it might be. And trying to get out of the house actually is 4 times as hard because you've got 3 or 2 kids trying to get out of the door as much as it's hard for one.
So enough to getting myself out the door.
I potentially, this is when he was younger, but I painted this picture of these sort of idealistic sort of 2.4 children families that were going out in their lovely cars for a day out for a picnic or whatever, and I sort of thought, and my heart would sink a little bit thinking I miss that, and I'm doing a really rubbish job because I can't do all of that, even though I tried really hard to make it great in our own way. That, he did have many of those things. I think that's the other danger as well. Again, exactly the same thing. You make the assumption of what you're looking at, but if you scratch below the surface, it's potentially the complete opposite of what you've told yourself. And they're probably not even trying to paint the picture that they are perfect. It's only our opinion of what we're looking at.
It's how you perceive perfection.
Exactly. If you ask them, they'll be like, hell no, this is an absolute nightmare.
Right.
But because we're looking from the outside at them, we're thinking, oh, it's just so easy and perfect and I wish I had that. But it's always the grass is greener situation.
Yeah, which just comes back to the watering your own grass.
Yeah,
and absolutely. Being grateful for what, you do have at the time. Doesn't mean you can't strive for more. But rather than sort of envy, I guess it is, envying somebody else for what they have, just think, be thankful for what you do have. And it's hard to do sometimes, but because if you concentrate on what you don't have, then you'll stay like that.
Well, that's
all you're going to get. Yeah, exactly. Yeah,
you should be staring at your destination, but with a bit of reality as well. It's nice to see where you're headed, but also just to know that it's going to take some time to get there, and you don't know how long that's going to be.
Plus, you also don't know what somebody else has taken to get where they are. Like you hear people say, "Oh, you're so lucky," but I think that that they've worked damn hard to do it, and a lot of people don't, and given up things, and a lot of people don't realize that either. That They weren't. It was just hard work that got them there.
And I think human nature wants the
easy way out, right?
Yeah.
And I think too is they weren't fearful. And I think that's another thing too. If you want to, people that maybe you're comparing yourselves to, or you like the look of their lives, they've just taken the bull by the horns and went and did it. So that's another thing.
Also, is they weren't lazy.
Yes.
I know fundamentally people won't go, well, I'm not lazy, but I think that's another part of a human trait is actually we are quite lazy, really. If we could do it the easy way, of course, and particularly in our society now, everything has been made to make everything easier for us, isn't it?
Right. Cars that park themselves.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah.
So often it's not the easy way is the way that's going to get you the success.
Nope.
It's often the hard way, and you just sort of think, do I want to do that? Am I prepared to put that work in, whatever that might be, whether it's for an entrepreneurship sort of business that someone's starting, or whether it is weight loss, or whether it is restyling your home. That doesn't happen without effort either.
Nope.
You have to be prepared to get your sort of sleeves rolled up, rip things out, paint things, do things, earn the money, for goodness sake, to be able to do it, because it costs money. So,
or learn how to do it, so you don't have to pay somebody to do it.
Everything requires a bit of effort. So I think when we're comparing ourselves to these people, as you said, you've got no idea of their backstory, how they've got there.
And nobody's perfect. Nothing is perfect. I think that it's accepting your own sort of quirky things and imperfections, and not being held back by them, but just thinking, well, this is me. And
also, I think it's even if you can flip it the other way, so it's not exactly that, not being held back by them, but almost reveling in them.
Right. This is what makes me an individual.
There isn't another one of me.
Right.
So I think that's the other thing, is if you can find a place where you can have that inner confidence to get to the point of saying, okay, I know it's not like X, Y, and Z, comparing myself to someone else, but you know what? It's pretty ace, because it's me. Because there isn't anyone else like it.
Yeah, freeing yourself from the fact that you're just perfectly imperfect. Because perfection's boring, I have to say. Yes, don't you think?
Know.
And that nobody would really. But the voice, as we know, the voice inside our head can be just absolutely brutal. So you have to be your own ally, really, don't you? Be kind to yourself, and be a friend.
You do, and also just let that voice sometimes just accept that voice is happening. I think sometimes I sort of, if I have a low day or a bit of a blue mood sort of thing, just go, okay, today's just like this, it will pass.
Right.
And then, invariably the next day feels a bit brighter, because I haven't tried to battle with it too much. I think if you can just let the ebb and flow come, but you've got to always remember that it's, as you said, better is coming, isn't it? And if you can keep chipping away at this, it feels really daunting, but it will be coming if you can just keep doing it.
And it's I think it's a vicious sort of catch-22 cycle there, where you look at somebody else, and because it's everywhere, on social media. You look at somebody else, and you think, oh, I've been working hard, and I don't have 25,000 followers or whatever, who cares, but you know what I mean, and you're having a down day anyway, and that just makes it worse. But maybe look at why you don't, are you actually working hard at it? Use that to inspire yourself, but rather than comparing yourself, think, maybe they work hard. Maybe they work harder than I do.
Yeah, and
be truthful with yourself about that.
So use that comparison to sort of think, what am I aware of about myself?
Right.
And can I correct or change something? And then make a positive. So not in a comparison to beat yourself with a stick over it.
Right.
It's just to say, is there something that I could tweak or improve in my own life that would help me get towards that a little bit closer?
Right. So you're turning that comparison into inspiration, basically, right? Yeah, and I think that again comes back to the whole weight loss thing. I mean, I see people do it, and I think, where they flash a picture up of themselves overweight, and now they're skinny, and I think, I want that to be me. But, I'm working on it. And that, when you were saying about the hard work and putting in the hours and the time, and that's what it takes to do that.
I think if you can reframe that thought to, oh, I can't wait to be like, as in that whole I'm working on it and it feels like a negative, but it's such a long way. Excuse me. If you can change it into the excitement of, I can't wait when I am going to be like that.
Right.
If you can just flip that to when I am healthier,
right.
My blood pressure is lower, whatever it is that people are working towards, I can't wait until I am that, because then what you're doing is confirming your journey to yourself.
That you're going to get there.
But you're still on it. Yeah.
Right.
As soon as you sort of go, oh, I can't wait until, it feels like such a long way, doesn't it? You sort of go, I can't wait until I feel like I'm enjoying it.
Right. I think, definitely enjoying the journey. That's like, liking the path that you're on. And if you don't like it, then stop and think about how you can change it. Right. Yeah. And why don't you like it? And that whole, shoulda, woulda, coulda type thing. Oh, I should do this or I should do that. There's a lot of that whole shoulding. We all do it, right?
Yeah.
And so rather than doing that, using it, that the should as a want,
Yeah, I mean,
I should exercise. No, I want to exercise.
Yeah.
I want to eat healthy.
There's no such thing as should, really. It's like should is just could.
Right.
So I could exercise or I could not.
Right.
But basically then
decide.
You could into I will.
Right.
Yeah, exactly.
Decide, and then, if you decide not to, then you can't then go and look at somebody and think, well, aren't they lucky because they lost all that weight, because they didn't do the
exactly.
should. They did I'm going to. They actually did it. Yeah. So just, make that sort of your mantra. And then compare yourself with yourself, to yourself, you know what I mean? Because I think so many people don't realise how far they've come. But if you compare the you now to the you before, and think, like I could say, oh, I only lost, 7.3 kilos. But compare myself to before that, you know what I mean? Like, but
well, if you
now I'm further on.
Kilos in a bag and put that on a rucksack and asked to carry that around all day, you know about it.
Yeah.
So I think that's the thing you have to remember, is that it really does add up. It does make a difference.
Yeah, and see that how far that you have, come. Is it perfect? No, but it's never going to be. You just have to make it work for you at the time, like for me with exercise and diet,
Focus on how you feel, don't you? Because I think it's not so much even how you look. You're like, do you feel better now?
Right.
Compared to how you did 3 months ago? You must feel a bit different.
Oh, yeah.
You don't feel, as yet where you want to be.
Right.
You must feel different to how you did 3 months ago.
And more, I think, confident too.
Yeah.
I wore a dress last night that I've had for quite some time, and I've never worn it before. And I don't know, I liked it. I thought it looked nice, and I wore just a shorter leather jacket with it, and I felt comfortable and confident in it. My sister said, "Yeah, that looks, really nice," and I think that helps. I certainly didn't compare myself to anybody else doing it. I did me, and I didn't care. It was, when I say it, because it was quite loud, the dress. It was black with white polka dots on it. But I thought, I don't care what anybody else thinks. I feel comfortable, and my dress has pockets, and I just liked how I felt. So I did me.
Because I've got my bright green jumpsuit with my sequin star on the back that I wear all the time, and I absolutely love it. And I always get loads of compliments when I'm wearing it. People go, I love it. But they always say, I'd never wear that, but I really love it. You can see them sort of thinking, almost half wishing, I wonder if I should start to wear a bit more colour, or whatever it might be.
Right.
So, but I know, I know there's other people looking at me thinking, what the hell have you got on?
But it's like, who cares?
I don't care. I really enjoy what I'm wearing.
Yeah.
Exactly.
Yeah. So, yes, I think that it's just too easy to compare yourself to others. So, just switch off. Okay. Well, not from us, but from other social media, from the pictures and the scrolling. Just for a week or so.
We're here to be friends.
We are. We're here to help you. tell a better story, right? It's basically if you don't like the story that you're telling now, change it. It doesn't matter how old you are. You can always, if you have a passion, you've always wanted to do something, then pursue it. Just have a go at it. What's the worst that can happen, really? So if you don't like your story, then change it. If the story you're telling yourself isn't one of empowerment, strength, and optimism, okay, then tell a better story. Instead of telling yourself that you're not competent enough to do, the work, tell yourself you're brave enough to try something new.
Yeah.
Because don't you think fear holds people back so much? Don't blame yourself for mistakes in the past. Just put that behind you and learn from it and move on. Because everybody's made mistakes, you just don't see them while you're busy comparing yourself to other.
Whether you do or whether you don't, people are going to compare you and judge you anyway.
Yeah, and that's their business.
Unless you're not doing something really wrong. I don't mean something hideous, but that's up to them. Let them make their own decisions. And if they're still comparing themselves to you, well, then they need to have a bit of think about how they're doing their life too. So
right.
Ignore, their thoughts, their comparisons. Yes, it's nice to have nice feedback if someone says something nice, obviously. But even then, I don't think you should let that totally affect you. Just because someone said something nice, it shouldn't affect your point of view. So I think you've got to take everything with the understanding that that's their opinion, it's not fact.
Focus on watering your own grass.
Yeah.
Hey? I know that just sounds silly, but it's true. So you take back, basically, if you're comparing yourself and you're envious of people, you're giving them, they don't know that, but you're giving them or that feeling the power. So you need to take back your power, really, from all the paces and people and couples and stuff that you've been envying it. Take that back and use that energy for believing in yourself, for doing what you want to do, what you're passionate about. You do you, right?
And then you'll quickly find yourself without realising that you are probably the someone else that's then
other people will do that,
inspiring them.
But just focus on being the best you. And of course, that starts with some exercise, with eating, nurturing yourself from within, and, getting some sleep, all those things. All of that. We talk about it. Be unique, be memorable, be confident, be proud, all those things. So, Sarah, goals for next week?
I'm going to, I think, go through my personal social media feed.
Okay.
And go through some of the accounts that are probably not serving me or benefiting me.
Right. Inspiring you.
Inspiring me. I'm just using them as a comparison situation.
Right.
And I'm going to remove myself from those, and then I'll probably find some others potentially that I am going to be inspired by, or I can find myself emulating. So I think I'm going to do a bit of a life laundry with my social media.
Bit of a social media clean up.
Yeah, I think so.
Okay, well, that's good.
Go through that. So that's my goal for this week.
Okay. Mine is to get all the stuff for our website, because Sarah and I are building a website. We're not building it. Somebody else is building it, and they require, lots of information, obviously. So content. Mine's that, really. But no, I'm bad with comparing my work, not my physical self, but often, my work, because I, do food styling, do food photography, and there's so much of that you can see. And I look at pictures and I think, God, they're not even nice pictures, and they have 400,000 people following them. But it's just because they put it out there and they're consistent. So
they've bought followers. You have to remember this.
Right.
Be careful of the situation when you look at the number of followers.
Not caring about that. I care about putting good content out, recipes that are really good. But just hard work and consistency, doing more videos and things. Of course, having said that, I'm about to, go to England for over 2 weeks. So, I'm going to do some recipes for next week. But when I get back from England, I'm going to start doing my YouTube videos again. So that's not really my goal for the next week. My goal for the next week is to sleep, get some good sleep because I've been going to bed very late, and just keep up with my exercise and just eating my good brain food. Basically, that's what mine's going to be.
I'm going to keep doing that because I've enjoyed that this week and it's made a definite change to my body.
Right.
So I'm going to keep on with that too.
Yeah, stay away from the sugary things. What are you cooking? Do you know what you're cooking the next week?
I know what I'm cooking tonight, if that's any
Oh,
help.
okay. What's that?
I've bought some really, really large red bell peppers.
Okay.
And I'm going to roast them and stuff them with chili, and then having some Mexican rice on the side. So that's tonight's meal. So I'm going to put loads of sort of chopped tomatoes and beans and lentils and everything in the chili, and then stuff the bell peppers with it.
Well, that sounds
and then roast
good.
them in the oven.
I'm going down to like the Asian markets tomorrow.
Okay.
And I'm going to do there's some recipes that I tested that I haven't shared yet that I'm going to make and put on my website. One of them is coconut lemongrass prawns or shrimp.
Nice.
I've got a chicken and mango salad with like a satay type sort of salady thing.
Oh, my son would like that. He's a massive mango fan.
Hizzy, yeah. And then crispy rice with a salmon salad. If I get time, I'm going to do a smoked salmon. It's all very seafoody and all very good brain food.
Yeah.
Smoked salmon sandwich with some bacon and tomato jam and various things like that.
Nice.
Maybe a caper cream. So that's what I'm going to be cooking.
Sound good.
Yeah, it's my husband's birthday today, and I asked him.
Today?
Yeah, it's today. Yeah,
and
because he does intermittent fasting, he doesn't eat dinner, but he has been while my sister and brother-in-law have been here.
Right.
So, and I was going to make it because he does like a good burger, but he sort of is conscious of losing weight, and he's lost quite a bit. He's lost 30 pounds. So I said to him, do you want me to cook dinner, a steak or something? Just, steak can be healthy, roasted peppers, something like that. No, doesn't want dinner. So I'm like, alrighty. He said we had it last night, so yeah. But anyway, that was his thing. They put candle and some chocolates and brought it out and gave him a dessert. So yeah, which he was going to leave with me today, and I'm like, nope. That's going to work with you. Yeah. Anyway, so yeah, that's what I'm going to be making next week. Now, what for the episode that we've got coming up, episode 15, which is our next week's episode, I thought this was quite a good one because I'm going to be travelling. It's how to keep on track when you're away from home. So whether you're on a road trip or have to travel for work, you have to go away for whatever reason, if
your routine is broken.
Your routine is broken, but how to keep on track because it's not easy. So we're going to be talking about that. But as always, thank you for listening. We hope you found this episode helpful in some way. Please let us know if there's any subject you'd like us to chat about. But until next time, remember the best of your life is ahead of you. We're here to help you get started on it. So what do you say we do this together and find that sparkle? Until next week, take care. Bye for now.
Bye.